You're listening to 5-episode thriller. Dare to like this episode and subscribe if you hunger for more. Now, let the shadows begin to stir.
Title: Murder on the Ghan. A Deadly Plot, Chapter 4. Asterisk, we crowd around the table. The five of us, heads bowed like conspirators or sinners at an unholy communion. Jacob peels off the first page, the paper trembling between his fingers. Outside the dining car windows, the night is a solid black wall. No stars, no moon, just our reflections. Pale, tense, already ruined, in ways we haven't read yet. Arabella pulls the little lamp closer. Its glow pools over the pages, leaving the rest of the car in shadow. It makes our faces look older, hollower. Maybe that's fitting. Maybe that's what Lawrence wanted, for us to look like the monsters he claimed we were. Jacob starts reading aloud. His voice is low, steady. Confession: I was never the genius they said I was. I stole, I lied. I rewrote other men's tragedies into my triumphs. But they forgave me because I knew their secrets too. So here it is, all of it before. Someone silences me for good. I shiver. Across from me, Clara hugs herself, rocking slightly. Her lips move, whispering the words a breath behind Jacob, as if trying to rewrite them on her tongue. The confession is part memoir, part poison pen. Letter. Lawrence names, dates, titles. He talks about how Arabella bribed an editor to kill a review that would have destroyed her first bestseller. The same editor found drowned in his bath 5 years later. Ruled an accident. Arabella doesn't blink. She looks almost bored, but her knuckles are white on the table. Next comes Razor, a ghost Triton scandal memoir he claimed as his own. The real author was paid off and vanished to South America. But according to Lawrence, not before threatening to expose Razor as a fraud. That ghost's car was found at the bottom of a cliff in Chile last year. Razor, of course, laughs when Jacob reads that part. He laughs, too loud, too long. It makes Clara flinch so violently she nearly tips over her tea. Jacob's voice cracks when he gets to the bit about him. The brilliant Jacob Cartwright, darling of the festival circuit, whose debut novel about a small-town suicide pact was lifted, almost word for word, from an unpublished manuscript Lawrence found in an old student archive. Jacob's name on the book, Lawrence's hush money to bury the original. Jacob swallows. He won't look. At me, I reach for his hand. I don't know why, and he jerks away like I've burned him. Then, it's my turn. My stomach knots when Jacob's eyes flick to mine before he reads, and Erin Davies. Sweet Erin. She thinks she's clean, but she's my final masterpiece. I took her draft, shaped it, rewrote it behind her back. She thinks it's hers. She thinks the praise is hers. She is my legacy. Without me, she is nothing. A sob catches in my throat. The room tilts. I see Clara's pity, Arabella's faint disgust, Jacob's shame. It hits me harder than the words. They knew I was out of my depth. But I didn't know he thought I was too. The last pages are the worst. They're not about us. They're about Perth. About a night, 15 years ago, Lawrence, a young poet, named Daniel, and a woman who couldn't keep her name out of scandal columns. Lawrence never says her name outright, but the clues are unmistakable. Clara. They drank too much, fought by the river. Daniel slipped, or was pushed. He drowned. Clara's poem, the one that won her the national prize, was his rewritten. From notes in his journals, Lawrence helped cover it up. He kept the truth for leverage, but never used it. Not until now. Clara wails when Jacob reads it. A raw, broken sound that shatters the silence in the car. She slides off her chair onto her knees, burying her face in her hands. Arabella, ever practical, starts collecting the pages, stacking them in neat piles. "This is it then," she says softly. Motive enough for any of us. Blackmail, ruin. Prison, take your pick. Jacob leans back, pinching the bridge of his nose. Except this doesn't say who killed him. Just why we all might have wanted to. Isn't that enough? I whisper. My voice feels shredded. This isn't a confession. It's a suicide note. He knew this would blow us apart. Arabella fixes me with her hawk's stare. Except it didn't kill him. One of us did. One of us decided waiting for this to leak wasn't an option. Razor drums his fingers on the table. So what now, boss lady? We hand this back to Kearney. Let him flip a coin, for which one of us gets dragged off the train in cuffs. Arabella's lip curls. If you'd rather spend 20 years in the Adelaide lockup, be my guest. Jacob mutters. Maybe we burn it. Say, we found nothing. He can't prove any of this without the papers. Too late for that, I say. My voice is steadier than I feel. He knows it exists. He's seen parts of it. If it vanishes now, he'll know we're covering for each other. He'll take us all down anyway. Clara lifts her tear-smeared face. I didn't push Daniel. I didn't. He slipped. I didn't. No one comforts her. We're all too busy trying to figure out how to save ourselves. Outside the window, the darkness lightens slightly, the first hint of dawn creeping over the desert horizon. We're closer to Adelaide now than Darwin. Closer to the end than the beginning. Jacob clears his throat. Then, there's only one way. We find out who did it before Kearney does. We give him the killer on a silver platter, and maybe the rest of us get to crawl away with our careers in tatters, instead of spending life behind bars. Arabella nods once. Agreed. We work together. For now, Razor smirks. Detectives by day, suspects by night. I love it. So where do we start? I stare at the final page. At Lawrence's looping signature beneath the last poison line. If I die, remember. Writers lie for a living. Trust no one, not even the dead. My reflection in the window looks like someone I don't recognize. Someone older, harder, done being naive. I stand, gathering the pages. We start with the truth, the real one, and we don't stop until we know who's next. By the time the sun claws its way over the desert, the dining car reeks of sweat, cheap tea, and the acid tang of secrets aired too fast and too loud. I can feel every mile rattling under the train's wheels, like each steel rail is another chance for everything to come apart before we reach Adelaide. No one wants to sleep. No one wants to be alone. We drift from car to car in a huddle, all pretense gone, just 5 frauds, and one secret too big to bury. Kearney lurks behind us. A grumbling shadow who can't decide whether he'd rather cuff us to our bunks or throw us off at the next station. Breakfast comes and goes, untouched. Clara tries to nibble toast, but she's sick before she swallows. Razor pockets a handful of croissants, chewing with the calm of a man who doesn't believe in consequences. Arabella stirs her coffee until it goes stone cold, then orders another, just to stir that too. Jacob and I hover near the observation deck, eyes fixed on the red dunes slipping by like a mirage. Finally, when the heat hits its peak and the tourists nap behind drawn curtains, we barricade ourselves in my cabin. It's the smallest, cheapest one, barely big enough for the 5 of us. But it feels right somehow, the humble debut writer's room. Now the war room, for our last chance at survival. Arabella produces a notebook, flips it open on my bunk, and points her pen like a knife. We have 2 options. Keep guessing and let Kearney catch us, contradicting ourselves. Or pool everything we know and catch the real murderer first. Suppose the real murderer is in this room. Razor says lazily. Arabella's eyes flick to him with withering contempt. Then we'll know. Or we'll die trying. Either way, Better than waiting for Kearney's handcuffs. Jacob rubs his forehead. He hasn't shaved, and his stubble makes him look even more like a ruined boy genius. Start at the beginning. Motive. Opportunity. Lies we can verify. I brace myself and say it aloud. The ugly truth. We all had motive. We all had secrets Lawrence was going to use. So the only thing left is opportunity. Clara shivers beside me. Her voice is a rasp. He was killed between dinner and the final toast. Who was with him last? Me, I admit. I left him at his table with his whiskey. He said he'd rejoin you all for the toast. He never did. Arabella scribbles. Erin, last seen alive in her looping script. Next, where was everyone else? Jacob clears his throat. I was at the bar. Razor was with me, signing a fan's t-shirt and hitting on the waitress. Confirmed, Razor says with a grin. I have an alibi. For once Arabella glares at him. Hardly ironclad. What about you, Clara? Clara hugs her knees to her chest. In my cabin, I needed air. I didn't want to toast him. I hated him. Her eyes flick to me, pleading. But I didn't kill him. Arabella, writes Clara, alone. Then she clicks her pen towards me. Erin, after you left him, I search my memory, praying for something that saves me. I went to the lounge. I sat with that couple from Sydney, the ones obsessed with Lawrence's books. They'll remember. So, that leaves you, Arabella, Jacob says gently, but his eyes are sharp. She doesn't flinch. I was on a call with my agent, asked the porter. I yelled at him to fetch more signal boosters. Jacob nods. So? We're all conveniently accounted for. Except Clara. And technically you, Erin. Your couple may have only seen you after you could have slipped back and done it. But I didn't. The sharpness in my voice startles me. I'm not a killer. I didn't even know he planned to publish that manuscript. Arabella sighs. We need to think like him. If Lawrence wanted drama, and he always did, maybe he wanted to die spectacularly. Or maybe he wanted to flesh out whoever was desperate enough to stop him. Razor's grin fades a little. You're saying this was a trap? That he knew? One of us might snap and planned to catch it on paper. Jacob snaps his fingers. His hat. The note you found. Perth was just the bait. He wanted us all dancing on strings. Maybe he left more than one clue. I feel a flicker of something like hope. Then we find it. We tear his cabin apart. We look for notes, a recorder, anything. Clara whispers, if there's more. Maybe it says who did it. Maybe he guessed. Arabella taps the notebook. Then, we don't wait. We do it now, before Kearney searches himself and locks it away as evidence. Razor bounces to his feet. Sudden energy crackling through him. Finally, a proper whodunit raid. Let's crack the old bastard's tomb wide open. Jacob squeezes my shoulder. A clumsy apology for his suspicion. And I nod. For the first time since Lawrence's body was zipped into that bag, I feel a glimmer of control returning. We slip out, one by one, careful as conspirators. Outside, the desert blazes under a merciless sun. Inside, the train hums like a heartbeat. Winding down to its final stop, Lawrence's suite is locked, of course. Arabella picks it without blinking. The door clicks open on stale air, expensive aftershave, and a faint note of decay no cleaning crew could mask. We freeze on the threshold. His luggage stands open, clothes neatly folded beside a battered leather satchel. Books stacked spine up on the table. A whiskey glass, still half full, waiting for a ghost to finish it. Jacob breathes out. Search everything. So we do. Drawers, coat pockets, the hidden compartment in his battered typewriter case. Each discovery is small and awful receipts. Bribes, hotel matchbooks with notes scrawled inside. But none of it says, "I know who's coming to kill me." Then I find it. Tucked in a book, not one of his, but mine. A promising death, the proof copy he read before anyone else. My hands tremble as I ease the folded paper free from the middle pages. Arabella crowds behind me. Read it now. I open it. The handwriting. Is Lawrence's sprawling and smug to the last Aaron when they turn on you? Remember, you're the only one who never lied to me. Find the truth, and you'll save yourself. Trust the quiet one. They know, Razor snorts, the quiet one. What does that even mean? But I'm not listening to him anymore. My eyes are on Clara. Clara, who's gone dead pale, eyes wide. Mouth moving sound less lie. She knows, and I know she knows. Outside, the Ghan's whistle blows for a distant crossing. Inside, our game shifts from desperate guesses to brutal certainty. One of us is a killer. And the quiet one holds the key to everything. Chapter 12. We stand there for what feels like forever, me clutching Lawrence's final riddle, Clara pressed back against the cabin wall like she'd vanish through it if she could, and the others frozen in the heavy air of the dead man's den. The Ghan rattles on beneath us, steady as a heartbeat we can't stop. Jacob is the first to break the silence. He steps forward, blocking Clara's escape like a hound cornering a fox. His voice is gentle but coiled tight. What do you know, Clara? Tell us. Clara's lips tremble. She shakes her head, curls falling into her eyes. Nothing. I don't. He's playing with us. Lawrence always. He wanted chaos. He wanted razor laughs, a sharp bark that bounces off the walls. She's lying through her teeth. Look at her. Bloody poet, always knew she was soft. Didn't know she was a liar too. Enough. Arabella's voice slices through the noise like a scalpel. She crosses the room in 2 strides and clamps a hand around Clara's wrist, nails biting skin. Clara, we are done performing for each other. Tell us what you know, or I swear, I will drag you straight to Kearney and watch him peel your soul. Apart one lie at a time. Clara's eyes flick to me, there's something desperate there. A drowning woman, reaching for any hand to pull her up. Against my better judgment, I take it. Let her breathe, I say. My own voice surprises me. Firm.com. Not the frightened girl I was 2 days ago. We can't bully the truth out of each other, Arabella, she'll tell us. Won't you, Clara? Her fingers curl around mine, a child's grip. She nods once. A quiver of bone-deep exhaustion in her shoulders. All right, she whispers, I'll tell you. But not here, not with him watching. She jerks her chin toward Lawrence's half-finished whiskey, as though the corpse might drift back in, top it off, and clap sarcastically at our performance. Jacob mutters, where then? Clara squeezes my hand, her skin cold and clammy. Observation. Car, quiet. No one there at this hour. Please, just, please. Arabella considers this, and reluctantly lets go of her wrist. Fine, but you so much as twitch toward a window, and Razor will drag you back by your hair. Understood, Clara? Just nods. She's trembling, but there's something else under it. Resolve, maybe. Or the final shred of guilt giving way. We slip out, careful not to draw Kearney's eye, as we drift back through the corridor. Razor hums under his breath, some tuneless melody that frays my nerves. I keep Clara tucked close, a shield and a warden, all at once. The observation car is deserted. Save for a scattering of crumpled beer cans, and the echo of wind against the wide glass windows. The desert outside is a pale ocean now, dunes like frozen waves rolling to the horizon. For a moment, it feels impossible that something so monstrous could thrive in a place so empty. We sit in a loose circle, perched on faded velvet benches. Jacob folds his arms. Arabella leans back with an air of disdain so sharp it could cut glass. Razor lounges with one boot propped on a table, picking at his nails with a penknife. Clara takes a breath. Another. She stares at her own reflection. In the window, as if bracing to see herself unravel. It was an accident, she starts. Her voice is raw. All those years ago, Perth, Daniel didn't slip. I pushed him. I didn't mean to. He was drunk. He threatened me. He said he'd ruin me, publish my poems under his own name. I shoved him, just to get him away from me. He hit his head on the rocks. The river took him before I could think. Her words hang there, brittle as spun sugar. No one breathes. Arabella's nails drum on the glass beside her. We know that part, Clara, Lawrence covered. For you, and he kept that secret until it was worth more than your life. But that isn't why he's dead now. Why did he call you the quiet one? What did you see? Clara's eyes flick to me again. This time, her voice is firmer. I saw someone leaving his cabin, after the toast. Before Kearney found him, Jacob's head snaps up. Who? She swallows. I was on my way back from the lounge. I couldn't sleep. I saw a shadow slip out of Lawrence's room, shut the door, and hurry away down the staff corridor. I thought it was nothing, just him entertaining some poor fan or blackmailing them. But then Kearney came shouting for help. Razors. Penknife stills. A shadow. Man, woman. Clara's lips quiver again. Tall, broad. Too broad to be me. Or Aaron. Or Arabella. I thought maybe Jacob, but then I heard Jacob laughing in the bar a minute later, still with that bloody fan. So, we all turn at once. Slowly, like planets orbiting a single black sun. To Razor. He lifts his hands, palms up, grins. Now, come on. What you think I bashed the old bastard's skull in? Why would I do that? He had nothing on me I couldn't shrug off. Arabella's voice is ice. He exposed you as a fraud. That alone could end your career. You had everything to lose. Razor spits on the carpet. Career, please. I'd write a memoir from my bloody cell and make more money than all of you. I didn't kill him. Clara's memory is shit. Or she's lying to save herself. Clara shrinks into my side. I swear I'm not lying. It was him. I know what I saw. I force myself to breathe, to think like a writer, not a terrified witness. Then there's a way to prove it. If Razor did it, there'll be something. Blood on his clothes, a bruise from a struggle, something Lawrence tore away. Kearney searched our cabins, but he doesn't know what he's looking for. We do. Razor bares his teeth. Touch my luggage, and I'll break your fingers, darling. Jacob stands. His expression isn't gentle anymore. It's the Jacob from his books, cold, brilliant, merciless. Then run. If you didn't do it, prove it. If you did, you'll slip up trying to hide it. And if you try to bolt, we'll feed you to Kearney ourselves. Outside, the desert rolls on, red and endless. Inside, the train is suddenly too small for all our secrets. Razor leans back, grinning still, but his eyes are sharp now, predator sharp. Fine, detectives. Hunt me then. But you better pray I'm not the wolf you think I am. We watch him swagger out, the car door banging behind him. Adelaide exhales voice, barely a whisper. We need to move fast. If he's guilty, he's dangerous. If he's innocent, someone's letting him take the fall. Either way, we're next if we don't end this. I press my palm to the window, cold glass grounding me. Ahead lies Adelaide, a city that was supposed to be the climax of my fairy tale. Now it's just the finish line of a murder we still don't understand. Behind me, Clara breathes my name, quiet, almost a prayer. Aaron, what do we do now? I turned to them, to Jacob's grim resolve, Arabella's ruthless cunning, Clara's fragile truth, and I say it, clear and certain. Though my heart hammers like a fist against my ribs, we find the proof. Tonight, or we all go down together. Asterisk, asterisk, end of episode 4.
If this tale left you uneasy, give it a like, share it with someone brave enough to listen alone, and subscribe to 5-Episode Thriller